Stefon Diggs is chit-chatting as a Houston Texan. I think it's the first time I've heard him in Houston Texan gear talk about his life before getting to Houston. Pretty beautiful sentiment to be true.
Josh Allen said that you were very instrumental into making him the quarterback that he was at the end, that he is now. How instrumental do you think Josh was to helping you elevate to the next level of receiver that you ended up becoming?
I feel like he was a intricate piece in my career because at that point, when I left Minnesota or whatever, I presume was I was a good player, you know what I'm saying, but I always felt more for myself. I felt like I was better than that, that I could be better than that. And I kind of, up to that point, I was just like, shit, I'm going to roll the dice and bet on myself, you know what I'm saying? And they sent me to Buffalo. I don't know if they sent me to Buffalo with the most kindest, with the most great intent, but all's well ends well. When I got to Buffalo, Josh is still my guy, you know what I'm saying? People don't really understand what it's like to be out there, you know what I'm saying? And he really embraced me, you know what I'm saying? He kind of had that Southern hospitality, you know what I'm saying? So for me, he embraced me, we spent a lot of time, and I probably wouldn't be right here if it wasn't for him. So, I got a lot of love for that boy, so y'all give him a hug and a kiss for me.
That's awesome to hear, obviously, because there was a lot of drama potentially being stirred by a lot of things that were said, a lot of actions that took place, some games that weren't won, and then obviously family members sending out some tweets about how somebody sucked until somebody arrived. There was a lot of drama, through that relationship. Now, a lot more successful football than drama, but the drama is always going to get brought up whenever, you have a little bit of a breakup or a move on or some tweets or some things like that get into the national conversation about it all. I did appreciate him saying, I think when Minnesota sent me to Buffalo, it wasn't like the kindest intent. So I appreciate that he's like, they try to send me to die in Buffalo. And then they go on to become a wagon and become very successful. Team obviously doesn't win Super Bowl, but make it very far in playoffs. Experienced some big games, just weren't able to get over the hump. What are your thoughts on how he handled that question there, AJ? And how do we think this goes with Houston and CJ Stroud with Stefon Diggs?
Well, first of all, it should go amazing with Houston. We saw what CJ was able to do. If he's able to just continue on the path that he is and continue to progress as a quarterback, yeah, it's going to be a great stay for Stefon Diggs. But as far as him speaking about Josh Allen, I thought that was great. It almost looked like he was almost emotional talking about such a good friend and a teammate. I'm not saying he was, but I would have understood if he did. I just it's cool to see Diggs do that. You're not used to seeing Diggs speak to the media when it's stuff like that. People, I feel like, are always trying to goad him into talking about somebody or saying something about a coach or the schedule or
being
trying to make it negative.
They try to goad him into being a wide receiver.
Yeah, and Diggs is absolutely explosive as we've seen all these highlights continue to run, but it's cool to see how much love he has for his old QB, and I'm sure he's going to love his new QB as well.
Wide receivers have to have the mindset that they want the ball every single play. Publicly, privately, that is literally how wide receivers are wired. That's why you hear a lot more sound bites normally out of the wide receivers than anybody else, because they're dependent upon so many other people for them to have success, but they know if they get the ball, their team's going to have massive success. Now, that can kind of come off in multiple different ways. Not saying just with Stefon Diggs, I'm just saying with the position group as a whole. Stefon and Josh made each other better. Yep. I think they both understand that too. That's what I heard from that entire
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can look at the numbers. Obviously, numbers don't lie. He's obviously top 5 in all targets, catches. Kind of towards the end, the targets kind of got funny, and obviously we made a lot of speculation on the outside about the relationship, but he's moved on, obviously, to a new chapter. You do kind of wonder, okay, how is it going to impact C.J. Stroud, being such a young quarterback? But I had opportunity to golf with Nick Caserio in Houston this past weekend out there with Liv, and Nick is an absolute stick, by the way. He won't tell you, but and Bryce DeChambeau, Thomas Peters. But Nick just talked about how high he has been on Stefon, how great he's been in the building, how great that whole group has been up until this point. So I'm looking forward to what, obviously, except the 2 times they play us, looking forward to what the Houston Texans do next year.
Yeah, and that's breaking. Nick Caserio talking highly of what Stefon Diggs not only brings to the team, but how he's been around the building. And that's great to hear, obviously. And I think a lot of people talking about Stefon Diggs love him. He's been on our show. He's been great. But then there's just those moments of competitive edge and competitive juices that take place that obviously start shit and controversy and drama. Happened in Minnesota. Towards the end, it happened in Buffalo. Now with Houston, fresh start, new team, plus a vibe that seemingly will fit him perfectly. I'm excited to see what they do down there. Now, they got to play the Indianapolis Colts week 1. So there's going to be a welcome to the AFC South moment for Stefon Diggs. But yeah, I hate how good the Houston Texans are and are seemingly getting, and that's just good shit out of Caserio, D'Amico, ownership, because just a few years ago, they were a dumpster fire.